pissed me off more in life than a sequel that dishonors the original. We've seen this before, in the Star Wars sequels, when the rise of Skywalker totally undoes the ending of Return of the Jedi, and Darth Vader's ultimate sacrifice, or in Dark Fate, when the ridiculous death of John Connor undoes the tragic sacrifice of the T-100 in T2, or even when all the survivors in Aliens die in Alien 3. I know I shouldn't blame David Fincher too much, but it's not like he's not at fault. This brings us to the ambitious failure of Gladiator 2. One of my biggest gripes with this film is that it undoes all the impact of the first film. Maximus, the protagonist of the story, struggles through overwhelming odds to defeat the man who murdered his emperor, Marcus Aurelius, and then brutally executed his wife and son. In the conclusion to Gladiator, Maximus kills Commodus in the Roman Colosseum, otherwise known as the Flavian Amphitheater, to protect Lucius and return Rome to its days as a republic. He sacrifices his life to this end. But then along comes Ridley Scott to bulldoze the whole damn impact of the film. In Gladiator 2, we find that Lucius has been sent to Africa to avoid assassination by, I guess, some enemy of unknown origin. I mean, he sends him to Africa to avoid being killed. Have you been to Africa? I have. Everything there is trying to actively kill you. And this is strange because he was in no danger at the end of the film. So I guess Lucilla could have sent him off anytime she wanted to. Furthermore, defeating Commodus had zero effect on the fate of the government. The senators, one of which actually appears in Gladiator 2, did nothing to reform the government and take advantage of the hero's death. So they took this masculine, brave, intelligent, sympathetic character with great motivation and a heroic journey, and they deconstructed his legacy. I honestly have no idea why Scott needed to do this and to replace him with a one-dimensional protagonist like Lucius. In the film, Lucius determines that the man who ordered his lieutenant to predictably kill his woman soldier wife in battle must die. I know it sucks, and I'm not discounting the tragic event, but it's combat. Soldiers die all the time. And this is in no way as impactful as the slaughter of a vulnerable wife and son. I think it's in part to the current atmosphere of empowerment that requires women to be these ass kickers in every situation. I'm all for capable women in films, but I think this scenario just doesn't work. So we have a less than capable nobody with a less compelling reason to drive the narrative forward. And how does he begin his journey? He faces and defeats this baboon from hell. Of course, the film should have ended there because in addition to primates being 5 times as strong as humans and bodies designed to maim, they just don't give a shit. They fight like they're on PCP with no regard for personal safety. And if this was even possible, this man would be running the Colosseum. From this point on, he's a great fighter when the script calls for it, or he struggles to defeat his opponent when Scott needs to build drama. Such as in the end, when he fights a 70-plus-year-old Macrinus, played by Denzel Washington. I mean, this aging man almost kills Lucius. When he easily dispatches these hell baboons. I mean, what the literal fuck? The rest of the reasons I hated this movie are trivial, so I won't go into them. I just hope that Hollywood would put an end to this trope of deconstructing the protagonist and his legacy one day. Because quite frankly, I don't think audiences are buying it. These characters are fully fleshed out and well developed, and audiences have really developed an emotional attachment to them. So in my review, I didn't go into too much detail because, quite honestly, some of the other facts were irrelevant, as I said before. So like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. And as always, keep watching movies.